when we do slicing, that's you can start slicing your images with PSD file as well. It's not necessary, it has to be JPEG file. Okay, every single visual layer or the compressed image you see on the screen can be sliced into individual bits and pieces. So for example here, this particular image, I'm going to slice from logo separate, header separate, navigation bar as a separate thing, and then banner, contents in the middle, forms and the banners again on the right, and the footer as a whole unit. Means if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to make 10 to 11 slices of this whole mockup, okay, and produce an HTML page out of it. So that's what the demonstration is all about. Okay. Now to start with, I'm going to go in the toolbar, and just under the crop section, there is a slice tool here. Okay. There are two tools: slice tool and slice select tool. This tool is also quite traditional tool in Photoshop. Is there since Photoshop was introduced. Okay, and it is carrying forwards in every single version of Photoshop. So you shouldn't worry about having slice tool anywhere. Okay. Now, first we take the slice tool. Okay, and right, let me just start slicing. It's a bit slow today, I don't know why, but yeah. Once you get the slice tool, you can actually start using the knife from top left corner and slicing across the logo part here. So just draw a selection. Okay, you can see it draws the points all over that slice we just created. It assigns its number 1 as well, which is the slice number, and then you can move from this blue rectangle, or you can literally start from here as well. You can actually make another selection. All right, it marks it number 3, but you can see there's number 2 in between as well. Right, now I have not done that slice for that particular part, but Photoshop will remember it, and it will make small spacer images of gray color. You know, once you do the slicing, you will come to know what happens to those in between images. All right, so let me go back and finish off the slicing. Now here I will go and select this entire navigation. Then I will start to select this image banner. Then I will select this top banner here. The map at the bottom. This section here, which contains the content. On the right, we can select the form, the advertising banner, okay, you can zoom in so that you can make it appropriate selections. And the footer. So you can see I've got about 17 slices, but 17 is just a number because wherever I didn't do the slice, Photoshop will remember it as a small part of the image. Okay, and it will by default make a small image out of it. But once I've done the slicing all over my image, all you have to do is now go to File, Save for a Web, and most of them are JPEG images, so I'm just gonna keep it JPEG, bit of good quality 80, and you don't need to save individually. Make sure you just pick one it will assign the same format to all the sliced images. Okay. Now with this, if I just say save, and I'm going to my folder and K drive, Photoshop, sliced mockup, web. Sliced. And in save as type, there are options. Now this is the important thing. You can select the destination folder, you can select the type of the image, but from the save as type, you can actually save it as only images, or you can actually produce HTML file out of it as well. So it will give the whole web page with the sliced images inside. Okay, or you can just have it both together. So just for the learning purpose, I will use save as type as images as well as HTML, and then we'll see how it looks. So if I just save as type HTML and images, save it in the destination folder, and let's go back and check the folder. If I'll go here, that's a sliced mockup folder, and you see, because we said images and HTML both, for images I've got the whole folder. If I check this folder, you see that? All 17 images. Now here, whichever part of the slice I didn't do, Photoshop has done its own. There you go. We didn't do that. This small tiny gap, because I didn't do it perfectly matching to each other. So wherever, even if I leave 1 pixel space, Photoshop will give me a small tiny image for that. Here. But otherwise, whichever slices we decided, we got individual images to replace with it. Okay. Now, if you have your website layout within divs, then you just pick the images you want to use and add them inside your divs. And the rest of the design, which we already agreed earlier, that we can produce them by HTML, CSS, you fill those gaps by HTML and CSS. Use wherever the image you want, just tuck the image in it. Okay, that's how the actual process is. If I'll just go back and check the HTML page, you can just double click to see. Very intelligent Photoshop, because I don't know how they do it, but it's very clever. They actually compile all the images together using HTML table. Okay, and you don't even see the difference that the web page you're going to see now is actually the sliced images sequence. You see that? HTML web page, a full website. And each of these, what you see right now, is not one full image. It is actually built using those folders, sequenced images. So if I can just drag and try and check, you see that? I can only see this one image. I can see only this part. I can see only this image by dragging it. To further see it, how it actually constructs, I'm literally going to open this page in Dreamweaver so you'll understand it much more better. Dreamweaver is going to be your next software. So after we finish Photoshop, we will start with learning designing sites using Adobe Dreamweaver. Okay, now here in Dreamweaver, this is the design view, or where we actually do the web page designing without writing any codes. But if I go you and show you the code view of Dreamweaver, this is all HTML. Now, Photoshop does it on its own. Okay, it actually builds the table structure. You can see here, there's a tables, TRs, TDs everywhere, and in each TD, software actually inserts the image sources. And the source of the images, you can see the images folder, web-slice_01, means 1 to 17 images has been inserted using TDs. There you go, 2, 3, and so on. And in the design view, you don't even have to do any code because it literally shows you the actual coding transplant into what you see, what you get. Look at that. Okay. So once the design comes into Dreamweaver, then you can actually keep these images, whichever you want images, and the bits and pieces like this banner, we can actually decide to produce it using HTML. So I can simply delete, and then I can fill this TD. I can change its background color as the gray color, add hyperlinks in it, and carry forward the process. So you can simply select the cell. You can change its background color to gray color. Yeah, you can actually type the hyperlinks we done. Home, contact. Okay, and you can convert them into hyperlinks. Okay, and you can actually CSS them by literally adding CSS styles. Change the color to white. Take off underline. This is what we wanted, right? How quick it is. It was centrally aligned as well, so if you can just click the cell here, and maybe we can give, we had to add another CSS, maybe horizontally center, vertically middle. Save it, check it. Do you see the difference? So now this bar, which is a gray bar, is actually produced using HTML and CSS as per our storyboard planning. And images, we can just keep wherever we want the image. Okay. So this is overall holistic use of Photoshop versus Dreamweaver versus CSS together to build a nice dynamic website. Okay. Level 3 will continue. You will study how you can have a beautiful fade in, fade out kind of animated banners using Flash. Okay. But then again, you're going back to Dreamweaver and add Flash bits into it. Going back to Photoshop and replacing images in Photoshop. So Dreamweaver is going to be your central port where you actually do the editing of the web pages. Photoshop gives you static images, JPEG gives PNGs, and Flash gives you animated files. So, and then you get a holistic web page. Okay. So let's do the practice on slicing for your individual mockups. Even if you do slicing, it will not harm your PSD file, so don't worry about it. But maybe you can save as it if in case something goes wrong, or just make a JPEG of your mockup and slice the JPG file rather than slice the PSD. Okay. So let's practice the individual mockup.